You felt it. The moment when you see something that no one else seems to notice. A truth so clear to you, yet invisible to the people around you. You bring it up in conversation, and the room goes silent. They change the subject. They smile politely, but you can feel it. They didn't understand. They didn't want to understand. And so, without meaning to, you start keeping those thoughts to yourself. Not because you don't care, but because you've learned the cost of saying them out loud. If this sounds familiar, you already know the truth. The deeper you see, the lonelier it feels. The world celebrates intelligence. In theory, we admire inventors, writers, visionaries, philosophers. But in practice, being able to see further than most people often comes with a heavy price: isolation. Because when your mind moves faster, asks deeper questions, or notices patterns that others miss, you will eventually reach a point where the conversation can't follow you. It's not that others are incapable, it's that they may not want to go there. To see the world as it truly is often means giving up the comforting illusions that most people live inside. Plato understood this thousands of years ago. In the allegory of the cave, he describes prisoners chained in darkness, mistaking shadows for reality. If one prisoner breaks free and sees the real world, he returns to tell the others. But instead of thanking him, they ridicule him, and in some versions, even kill him. Why? Because he didn't just show them a new truth. He shattered the only truth they'd ever known. This is the curse of genius, the ability to see more clearly, more deeply, more painfully than others want to see. And in a world built on comfort, that makes you dangerous. Nietzsche saw it too. He wrote, "And those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music." Genius is often a form of solitude because it puts you out of sync with the crowd. You may see the storm before it hits, while others are still enjoying the sunshine. You may understand the ending of a story while everyone else is still lost in the middle. And when you speak of what you see, you remind people of something they'd rather forget: that the world is far more fragile, uncertain, and complex than they like to believe. There's also a psychological truth here, one that cuts deep. Humans bond over shared experiences and shared realities. The more different your perception becomes, the harder it is to find that bond. You might be in a room full of people, laughing and talking, yet feel as if you're standing behind a pane of glass, watching life happen from the outside. You hear the conversations, but they feel small compared to the questions burning in your mind. You try to bridge the gap, but each time you're met with confusion, dismissal, or polite indifference, the gap grows wider. Over time, you start speaking less. You choose your words carefully. You give people only the surface layer of your mind, and you save the deeper layers for yourself. History is full of brilliant minds who walked this path. Nikola Tesla, the man who dreamed of wireless energy for the world, died alone in a hotel room, largely forgotten. Emily Dickinson wrote nearly 1,800 poems, yet published fewer than a dozen in her lifetime. Van Gogh painted visions that no one understood until he was gone. Their work changed the world, but in their lifetimes it also set them apart. And here's the irony. The very things that made them valuable to humanity, their insight, their imagination, their refusal to accept the obvious, were the same things that made them strangers in their own time. Most people don't want the raw truth. They want the filtered version, the one that doesn't challenge them too much, the one they can nod along to without having to change their lives. This isn't because people are stupid. It's because the human mind craves stability, and genius by its nature disrupts it. To see the truth is to see the cracks in the foundation, and once you see them, you can't unsee them. That's why the crowd resists. That's why the visionary walks alone. Machiavelli, often misunderstood as a cynical manipulator, understood human nature in a way most philosophers didn't. In The Prince, he observed that those who challenge the established order will always face resistance, not just from those who benefit from it, but from those who are simply comfortable within it. It's not just the corrupt who fear the visionary, it's the ordinary person who fears having to think differently tomorrow than they did today. And so, instead of welcoming the one who sees more, they keep their distance. Here's the paradox. Genius craves connection just as much as anyone else. It's not that highly intelligent or deeply perceptive people want to be alone. It's that they want to be understood. And when that understanding is rare, solitude becomes the safer choice. Better to be alone than to constantly feel unseen. Better to speak rarely than to watch your words sink into silence. This is the double edge of seeing too much. You gain a clarity that few possess, but you lose the easy belonging that most people enjoy without thinking. You will notice the hypocrisy in the room before anyone else. You will see the danger in a plan everyone else celebrates. You will feel the weight of truths that others can ignore, and sometimes that will feel like a curse. But it's also the reason the world changes at all, because every step humanity has taken forward began with someone who saw more than they were supposed to, and spoke even when no one listened. The question is not whether genius leads to isolation, it does. The question is, what do you do with it? You can retreat entirely, protect yourself from misunderstanding, live in your private world, or you can accept the loneliness as part of the work. The price you pay for carrying a light others aren't ready to see. Because sometimes you're not meant to convince everyone. Sometimes you're meant to plant a seed that will grow long after you're gone. If you've ever felt the ache of being misunderstood, if you've ever looked at a room full of people and thought, they don't see it yet, know this: you are not broken. You are not wrong. You are carrying a vision that was never meant to fit comfortably in the present moment. Plato would call you the freed prisoner from the cave. Nietzsche would call you the dancer to unheard music. Bonhoeffer would call you a voice of conscience in a world that prefers silence. Yes, it will be lonely at times. Yes, you will wonder if it's worth it. But remember, the price of seeing too much is high, and so is the cost of never seeing at all. If these words spoke to you, don't just let them fade. Write the thought you've been too afraid to share. Say the thing you've been holding back. Somewhere, someone else is waiting for proof they're not the only one who sees.